What is going on, guys? The hype is real. I am going to be revealing exclusively today on my channel the next update for Modern Combat 5, which is one of the biggest updates we have ever seen in a very long time. We're talking about a new class called the Morph class. We are getting our first girl character in the game, which is just absolutely awesome. Let me tell you what this chick can do. The first thing is, I gotta say this, I'm a huge X-Men fan, and this girl, Morph, reminds me so much of Mystique because she can morph into other players. Stay tuned, I'm gonna talk about how that works. First, let's talk about the weapons. It's just like Bounty Hunter. What that means is there's different types of weapons in the class. You're going to have your submachine guns, your light machine guns, your snipers, your assault, all within the one class. And as you can tell from the screenshot, the weapon kind of looks the same, but it builds on itself depending on the tier of weapon that you have, like a tier 1 versus tier 5, which is really cool. So it's kind of like the same weapon, but it looks, I don't know, it just kind of builds on itself depending on the tier that you're using. So that's pretty cool. Now, what happens by default? You get this right when you get the class. When you kill somebody, you get a buff, depending on the person you kill and the weapon they're running. So I'm going to give you a few examples. First, let's go ahead and read the description. The X1 Morph class. As a Morph, you will automatically pick up your victim's weapons and integrate their top characteristics into your arsenal. So basically how this works is when you kill somebody, you are going to get a buff. Doesn't matter if you kill somebody right next to you or you kill somebody across the map. You are going to get a buff. The buff is going to depend on the weapon that they're using, and we'll explain that in a second. You can cancel these enhancements by simply tapping on them. New ones will be picked up when defeating enemies. So if you don't like the buff that you got, you can cancel it out, and the next person you kill, you'll get that buff. What determines the buff is the weapon they're running. For example, over here on the right, we've got LMG. Magazine size is increased. If you kill somebody using a support class weapon, you're going to get an increased magazine size. If you kill somebody using a sniper weapon, you're going to get increased bullet damage at long range. If you kill somebody with an experimental weapon, that increases armor penetration. A few more examples over here that we'll go over. SBR, I believe that is the sapper weapons is SBR. You'll get a faster rate of fire when you kill somebody with sapper class. Handgun. You get an increased reload speed if you kill somebody using handgun. Rocket or heavy class if you kill somebody using a noob tube, you get additional damage resistance. So these do stack on top of each other to a point. Now that's going to sound overpowered at first, but there's only a certain amount of slots. For example, at tier 3, you would only have one primary slot and a secondary slot. So that's only 2 buffs that you would get. At tier 5, you would have 1 primary and 2 secondary slots, so that's 3 buffs that you can get. So it is limited, pretty crazy. So that is so cool. It just picks up their attribute, and the way that's going to look is when you kill somebody, it's just going to see, you're just going to see this thing fly out of them into you, and it's automatically going to pick up that attribute from the weapon they're using and integrate it into your arsenal and buff you up as a player. Also, the weapons are modular. What that means, as it says here, it always provides the power-up that best suits your weapon. So you're going to get buffed the best thing that's going to suit your weapon.
Place down. We're taking over, yeah, we're taking over the game.